Hi everybody. I'm gonna give, I know I said 10:15 and I'm a little late, so I'm gonna give this just like a minute or two. So if like somebody wanted to pop on, hopefully they'll get that notification that I'm online and start it up, so that if somebody wanted to come in and jump in right away, that they wouldn't have to wait for the video to post, but that you all could jump in. I'm gonna do a little flow. It's gonna be a little awkward. I was trying to find the best way to kind of show this. We'll try this. Hopefully this works. I also don't know how great this mic is, so I'm gonna be demoing and working, and you guys, follow along. Those of you who have done some yoga with me or worked out with me, my usual MO. It's, explore, do what feels okay. I might be changing some stuff up because I'm in a little bit of a limited space too. So, change a variation. We're going to work some progressions, but always feel free to do something else. You could do something completely different, but just have this on in that idea of community. I've been finding that pretty powerful this past week to, be in an online place where other people are there as well. So, do what feels okay. I'll try and offer some stuff. It's a little odd. I'm just going to be talking to myself and doing some yoga, and I can't really give you a lot of feedback about stuff because A, I can't see you, and B, I can't hear you. Even if you ask questions, I'm going to be on my mat, and I've got the phone up here on the door handle. So, post stuff later on if you notice something, you have a question about it, and I'm more than happy to answer it. But in the moment, it might be a little bit harder. Okay, so we've got a few people. Hi, everybody, and people might join us. Great. We're going to start child's pose. So find your way. I do not... I've got a block over here, but there's no, I don't have anything planned with that. I just had that out. Actually, I was using it to prop up my phone to find a good spot. So, no props necessary. Grab a towel, grab a mat, do it on your carpet, whatever works. Okay, child's pose. Find my sequence. And start to walk your hands out. Get that nice little upper back stretch, starting to open up the chest here. Let the forehead and the nose turn down towards the floor. Taking a moment to breathe into the back side of the body. And then go ahead, come on up to all fours. And let's do some cat and cow. So you're going to round your spine, chin towards your chest. And then take a little arch, moving back and forth to warm up the spine. Really a great way to start every morning. You could do this seated, you could do this in other positions. Trying to work all those segmentations of the spine here. And you might notice as you do it a few more times that each one maybe gets a little bit bigger as you get a little warmer. Awesome. Pause in a neutral spine. Let's go. I'm going to try and mirror as much as possible. So right arm out to the right. I might get stuff wrong. Some of you know I always do that. We're going to slide that arm through. You can put your face down on the floor. And then walk your left hand forward towards me, towards the front of your mat. Push down in your right arm as you twist open. And then walk that left hand back and untwist. And we'll go to the other side. So left arm's gonna come out and you can thread it through. Lock the right hand forward, press down and twist open. And then come on back to that tabletop. We're gonna take a puppy pose. Your hips are gonna stay high. You're gonna walk the hands forward. Once again, reaching maybe forehead or chin towards the floor. They might touch, they might not. Getting into a nice overhead position here. And then walk those hands back in. We're gonna go ahead and get into downward facing dog. So you can tuck your toes, send those hips up and back. Let's do a little pedal out of the feet. So bend that left knee, lift the left heel as you straighten the right leg and reach the heel towards the floor. And then switch. Moving that from side to side to open up the hamstrings and the calves. And then lift both heels up away from the floor and reach them back. You might bend the knees a little bit here. If you've been sitting a lot, your hamstrings might feel a little mushed. They might need some time. And then what we're going to do is walk those hands forward just a little bit, and you're going to shift into a plank position. Shoulders right up over the hands. If you watched Friday's video, we talked about that strong plank position. But feel free to keep the knees a little soft here, because we're going to move right back to that downward facing dog position. And then we're going to do that again. Shift forward into your plank. And then push down, folding at the hips. A nice strong hinge position here. Shift forward. So it's like a weird kind of deadlift action, hinging at the pelvis. And then once again, shift forward. Screw those hands into the mat. You spread the shoulders. And then go ahead, set your knees on the floor, and then you're gonna bend your elbows and lower yourself all the way down onto your mat to the floor. Reach your hands back, untuck your toes, and then we're gonna squeeze and lift up. So we've got a back bend action, spinal extension. Squeeze your butt. Make your legs as straight as you can, and then lift from the tops of the thighs. As you squeeze those shoulders up, let the work of the back lift your back. Awesome, lower all the way down. And then come up onto your left forearm. Make it parallel to the front of your mat. And the elbow right underneath your shoulder, so your upper arm is straight up and down. Then you're gonna bend your right knee and reach your right hand back. Maybe you grab your foot, maybe you don't. If your foot's not quite available, if your quads are a little tighter this morning, reach back as if you were gonna grab the foot. Push down, pull that left shoulder back. You're gonna pull your right heel in towards the outer edge of your glute. If you twist it open to grab your foot, see if you can put your hip back down on the ground. A little half frog pose. Ardha Bhekasana. Okay, other side. And then squeeze that left foot in, reach back. Notice if the hips came off. See if you can set it back down on the floor. That's gonna make it more of a quad stretch and a little less of a twist and a back bend. Just trying to say hi to the quads this morning. Awesome. Release your foot. You're going to take your hands out now so they're a little wider than your mat. And what is often known as spider fingers in the yoga teacher world, I guess, because my hand looks like the itsy bitsy spider. Chin towards the mat. Lift those shoulders up. Push your feet down and then start to lift your chest. So a little cobra variation. Nice wide hands. We're up on the fingertips. Hopefully getting into that upper back a little bit more here. Go ahead, lower down. Walk those hands in. Push your knees down into tabletop. Tuck your toes and then lift those hips. Downward dog. From here, you're going to walk your feet up to your hands. Take lots of steps here. Bend your knees. Try and keep your palms on the floor as long as you can, and then eventually you might have to come up to fingertips. That's okay. If you had blocks and you know that you like to use blocks, that might work there as well. And then go ahead and roll yourself all the way up to standing. Arrive. Tadasana. Yeah, give yourself a little shimmy shake out. I always say the first Tadasana, that's your shirt adjusting pose. And then arrive right at the front of your mat. Lift and spread your toes. Put them back down on the floor. Let's go palms together. And then close your eyes here. Let's take 5 breaths together. Feel free to do a little sigh. You can even make a little noise. I can't hear you. Other people can't hear you. Oh. Awesome. Release your hands back down to your sides. Mountain pose. You reach your arms overhead. Lift your chin and look up. And then fold forward. I'm gonna reach those arms out. I kind of hit the wall a little bit, so I gotta bend my elbows. You do what works for your shoulders. Put your hands on your shins, straighten your arms, and come up halfway, nice and long through the spine. And then you're gonna plant your hands, and you're gonna walk your feet back to a plank position. Awesome. And then go ahead, set your knees down on the floor. From here, you're going to lift your right hand up away from the mat, and you're going to bring your right foot forward in between, and then you can put your right hand back down on the ground on palms or fingertips. Now, we're going to do some stepping forward with some of this flow. Remember, moving that arm, same arm as leg, out of the way, is going to give you a little bit more space. So at any time, know that that's a way to work. And then go ahead, lift your torso, hands to your hips. Slide your hips back just a little bit. Squeeze the glutes, almost as if you were trying to pull that back knee forward, and lift your chest. And then we're going to reach the arms overhead. This is Anjaneyasana, or sometimes known as monkey lunge. Lots of teachers have different names. I'm going to call this monkey lunge for today, or Anjaneyasana. So I'm trying to name all the poses, so when I call something out, you'll hopefully have an idea of what that is. Go ahead, lift your chin, look up towards your fingers. And then you're going to set your hands back down on the floor. Now you can play, maybe move that right hand or leave it down as you sweep the right leg back. And then other side. Lift your left hand, bring the foot forward, and back down. And then lift your torso. We'll start with hands on the hips, slide back, squeeze your butt, drag that right knee forward. You're pushing down in that left foot and pulling it back, arms overhead. If you find that yeah, I'm a little wobbly this morning. That's true for you as well. You could look down, you could look straight ahead, or go toward your fingertips to open up your chest a little bit more. Awesome. Hands back down. You're going to slide that left foot back. And then walk your knees back now so they're behind your hips. And then go ahead and lower all the way down to your mat. Reach your hands behind you. If you can, add a bind. If not, no worries. Squeeze those arms as straight as you can. Start to lift your hands and then lift everything else. But keep lifting the hands up away from the low back. As you do so, roll the shoulders open and squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Squeeze the legs straight, squeeze your glutes, lift your chest. And lower all the way down. Hands under your shoulders. Press up, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. You're gonna reach your right leg up and back. Try not to kick your banister. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring that right foot forward and let it hover. Oh, and then reach that right leg up and back. You'll notice I came up onto the fingertips of that right hand. This time you're gonna step it all the way forward. Just, that gives me a little bit more space, just practicing that really soft step forward, back knee down. Once again, we're gonna go right into that monkey lunge. And then from here, put your hands back down on the floor. Lift your back leg or knee away from the floor and straighten the front leg. And then rebend back to monkey lunge. And then we're gonna take that back into this pose, pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. One more time, just like that. Little flow through the hips. Hands down, lift up. Now rebend into a lunge, back knee stays up. We're gonna step back into downward facing dog. And then left side, lift your left leg up. And then hover forward, resisting placing that foot down, and then reach up and back. So using, rather than momentum to throw yourself forward, muscles, the core and the hip flexors. Yeah, building some strength that way. Okay, monkey lunge. And then moving right into the second side. So right knee lifts, straighten the left leg. The left leg doesn't straighten all the way, it's fine. And then moving through that 2 more times. Through a little monkey lunge into pyramid pose. 1 more time. Reaching up. And then low lunge, so right knee stays off as you step back into downward facing dog. Then you're gonna look at your hands, bend your knees. You can walk your feet forward as we did the last time, or perhaps you'd like to push your hands down and do a little light hop forward. Put your hands on your hips, squeeze your shoulders onto your back, and stand all the way up. Awesome. Front of the mat, mountain pose. Awesome. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to your shins, straighten your arms, lengthen through your spine, and from here, step back, plank, top of a push-up. Go ahead, lower all the way down to the floor, untuck the toes, come up onto your fingertips, and lift your chest. So a slightly different variation of that spider finger cobra. Lower back down. Now you can use your knees or tuck your toes, legs straight, push through plank into downward dog. Move your feet to your hands, walk or hop, long through the spine, and fold. All the way up to standing, reach the arms overhead, palms together, and hands to your sides. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Surya A, or sun salutation. If you had lower half lift and step back, lower down. This time, palms stay on the floor as you lift your chest, drag your hands back, and then right into your downward dog. So if you had 15 minutes in the morning or middle of the day, you could run through a few sun salutations. Could be a nice warm up for things as well. You get into the legs, you get into the hands. Okay, feet to hands. Half lift and fold. All the way up. Palms together. Okay, one more time. Inhale. Moving with the breath here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back and lower down. Inhale to that cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take one full breath here. Inhale. Exhale. At the end of that exhale, you're going to bring your feet to your hands. Inhale into your lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale all the way up to standing arms overhead and palms together in front of your chest. Okay, release your hands. We're going to start the same way. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back and pause. Now you can lower knees to the floor. That's always been an option, but I probably forgot to say it. Or you can stay on the toes. What we're going to do is come down halfway, like you're doing a push-up, flip over onto the tops of the feet, and lift up. Upward facing dog. So my hips, my knees are off the floor. It's actually a little less back bend, but it's a lot of strength through the legs. And up and back. If you found Cobra to be better for you, if you find it better to put your knees on the floor, feel free to do so. Okay, right foot comes forward. Nice and easy, as light as you can, knee to the floor, monkey lunge. And then we're going to take that right into pyramid pose. And then lower back into low lunge. So back knee is going to stay straight. Left leg is straight here. I'm going to turn my right foot out so it's facing the long edge of the mat. And I'm going to reach my left hand up towards the ceiling. Now from here, I'm going to spin to the outside edge of my left foot. Stay there. I'm going to turn so you can see different visual. I don't know if that's any better because I think I'm getting slightly cut off. If this is hard on that front IT band or knee, step back to the middle of the mat. It's totally fine. Push down, twist open. Okay, you're gonna turn your right toes forward. Put that right hand back down, walk the hands in, and now you're gonna spin your left heel the other direction, so to the right, and reach your left hand up towards the ceiling. So we went from a side plank variation, this is called side angle. Arm is a little bit different than a classic variation. Those of you who have done a lot of yoga with me before. Okay, set your hand down on the floor, spin up onto the ball of your left foot and step back, downward dog. And then other side, left foot comes forward, right knee to the floor, and lift up. And then set your hands down, pyramid pose. Lift those hips up and back. And then low lunge. You're going to turn that left foot out And spin onto the outside edge of the right foot and reach your left hand up towards the ceiling. So it's like a side plank, but that front foot stays on the floor. Again, you can walk that foot back if you need to. Lower your top hand, turn your left toes forward. The right foot, heel spins now to the left as you reach your right hand towards the ceiling. Now, a lot of times in this pose, we do something a little bit different with that left hand. So if you feel like, oh, it's really hard on that hip, you could come up forearm to thigh. If you're just getting a little less twist because your hand is on the floor, it's fine. Just a different way to do the pose. Lower that top hand down, spin up onto the ball of your back foot, step back, downward facing dog, and then feet to hands. Walk or hop, half lift, fold, all the way up to standing, palms together. Okay, so you see we're adding some bits on each time. Arms up, we're gonna do one more and add on a little bit more. Fold, inhale, come up, exhale, walk your feet back, lower down. Come up to cobra, maybe you like to up dog a lot, and downward dog. Right foot forward, lower the back knee to the floor, and pyramid pose. From here, low lunge, right toes turn out, right hand to the ceiling. Side plank variation or revolved skandasana. And then into side angle pose. From here, you're gonna lift your torso and straighten your right leg. And then reach forward and tip at the pelvis, Trikonasana or triangle pose. Push the feet down, scoop the hip underneath you, long through the spine. You can look up for a little more twisting action. For a little more steadiness, you might look towards the floor. I have my hand on my leg. You can put your hand on the floor. Again, if you had a block or a prop nearby, they work for that as well. Okay, low lunge, hands to the floor, step back, downward dog. Left side, left leg up and back. Step forward. Knee to the floor, monkey lunge. Pyramid pose. Vashisthasana variation, side plank, lift up. And then Parshva Konasana variation. Oh. Sanskrit scholars are going to be all over. Okay, lift your torso, straighten the left leg, slide your hips back. Now as you fold, try not to let the hips move back, but instead move them forward. I was going to say toward the bathroom, but that's my bathroom right there. You don't know where that is. I don't know where you're standing. Maybe a sign I use those directions too much in my classes. Okay, low lunge, hands to the floor, step back, down dog. Walk or hop your feet forward. All the way up to standing. Reach the arms overhead. Palms together in front of your chest. Release your hands to your sides. Inhale, arms up. Let's do this one more time. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale as you step back and lower down. You can go all the way or halfway. Find your back bend, whichever one works for you. And into downward facing dog. Right leg forward. We're gonna move through monkey lunge, pyramid pose, side plank variation, right into side angle. So flipping and then lifting into triangle pose and then back down. Now, option here, downward facing dog, or if you kind of liked this little bit of flow, you might add one in between sides, vinyasa style. Okay, left foot forward, monkey lunge, pyramid, right into your side plank, and then reverse the twist, the other side. Right up into Trikonasana. And low lunge, again, same thing. Down dog, child's pose, a little chaturanga, to up dog, to down dog. Wherever you are, put your knees on the floor. Bring your feet together. Have a seat on the tops of your feet. And then we're going to twist. Left hand to the outside of the right leg. Reach that right hand back behind you. I like to put it on my hip, but you can reach it, set it on the floor too. Shoulders pull back as you twist. And then other side. So untwist, we'll twist the other way. Again, you can reach back behind you. My arms are kind of long from my torso, so I can reach back and touch that hip. Okay, untwist. Slide your hips to the side. Sweep your feet out in front of you. Stay where you are. I'm going to move a little bit closer. So that can be a little closer to the mic, although it's going to be a little weird. Now I'm crooked. It's fine. Okay. Little V shape here in the legs. And let's pull that right foot in for head to knee or Janu Sirsasana. So you're going to twist towards your left leg. You can walk the hands out. Sometimes I like to reach that right hand a little bit further so I can get out of my low back. This could be a really nice QL stretch. But I'm trying to separate my ribs from the pelvis. And so I'm reaching the pelvis down into the floor as I lift up through the ribs. Be careful about using the arm and the shoulder. Think about using that whole backside. A lot of you know I like to teach using sounds. Try them out. And if you're the only one in your space, or it's, we're all learning how weird we are, right? Because we're home together all the time. Okay, go ahead, lift and switch sides. So you pull in, pressing down, like reaching that hip towards the floor as you twist and bow. So rather than allowing everything to collapse forward, I'm thinking about actively lengthening. Again, I have a lot of motion through here. I have some space too, so I'm trying to over-exaggerate those movements so that you can see. It doesn't have to be that crazy. But feel free if sometimes I like that because I can feel it a lot when I sort of over-exaggerate. It works well for me, but again, do your thing. Make sure it feels okay. It would be good. go ahead and come on up. Now, we're gonna do eye of the needle pose. I'm gonna turn to the side. You can stay right where you are or lay straight back. I think this is gonna make a little more sense. I like this because it's like this nice little tight. So I'm gonna cross my ankle over my leg and I'm gonna pull my legs in. That's where we're going. I'm gonna keep moving around and show some different angles. You know, play with it. Here we go. That seems better. Eye of the needle pose. My hand is in between my two legs. Otherwise, this gets cumbersome. And I can hold on here. I can hold on here. Some of you can come here. I can't extend my leg. I have a wall in the way, but you can extend that leg fully out that way. Or even up towards the ceiling, grabbing onto the foot. Not this morning. Some days it works. And then go ahead and switch sides. So left over right. I'm still pretending I'm mirroring. Go ahead, set those feet down on the ground. You can slide your feet out again. I have a wall in the way, so I can put my feet up on the wall. That feels kind of nice. And my arms up on my sides. Feel free to close your eyes, stay there. I'm going to take some breaths. I'm not going to do a full 5 to 7 minute Shavasana here because I feel like that would be a little awkward. But feel free to stay here. You might grab a timer and set that, or if you have the time and the ability to just stay for as long as feels okay to you, do that this morning. Feel free, post questions, comments. Let me know if you couldn't hear anything that I said the whole time because it was too far away. Again, we're working this out. I'm going to keep playing with angles to find the one that works the best. But I really appreciate y'all coming in and joining me. Thanks, Mike. Like I said, stay in Shavasana as long as you want, or feel free to move on, do some later. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, y'all. Have a good Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and stay safe. Bye.